Hi, everyone. My name's Katie Bethell, and I'm the founder and executive director of Paid Leave for the United States, the campaign to win paid leave for everyone in the US by 2022. We're kicking off an interview series where I chat with dynamic leaders from around the country, and I'm pleased to welcome my friend and colleague, Ivellisse Morales, the CEO and founder of Bombilla. Thank you so much for joining us, Evie. I've loved working with you over the last many years. And I think to start, I would just love to hear about the vision that you had when you started your creative agency. You wanted to build a different kind of company.
Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you, Katie, and thank you also for the opportunity to share my story. Um, so I've been telling everybody that I'm trying to build the Pixar for progress. Bombilla is a branding and design agency for social change, and we're on a mission to make the world brighter by essentially helping systems changing organizations amplify the work that they're doing on the ground. And so my bread and butter is identifying talent of all creative disciplines with a focus on creating opportunities for folks who are historically underrepresented in the creative and media fields, primarily people of color, Black people, indigenous people, women, and really trying to build a workforce that's representative of the United States of America, because right now the corporate world and many other industries do not reflect the people. And so, my background is I've worked inside of shiny creative agencies, and after realizing that they're all broken inside, I realized, let me try to reimagine this and build my own as a true designer would. And really trying to operate a business in a capitalist system I know that is exploitative and extractive. And that's what happens in traditional agency models, right? Like we run on the billable hour. It's our human creativity, our human capital, our intellectual property, literally, that is being forced to produce, and that's not human. And so it's like, how do you have fun, do your craft, and make a living? And so that's what I'm trying to figure out with my business model, while also, determining like, what does a business look like that is anti-oppressive and anti-racist? And so, I'm 2.5 years in of building this creative company, and this is top of mind for me. There's no blueprint. And, I'm also not perfect. I have bias as well. And so, leaning on peers, mentors, experts, the people who work for me, and my community to make sure that I'm building the right type of business that embodies the future that we need to focus on, one that is regenerative, anchored in creativity, collaboration, and community, because that's the only way we're going to address all of the environmental social challenges plaguing us as humans. I like to say we can all be gainfully employed by them. And so I'm trying to create an employment pipeline. In my career background, I'm traditionally trained in public relations. I've done work in corporate social responsibility, dabbling in branding, design, marketing, strategy. And so, I've consulted Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, government agencies on their outreach strategies, philanthropic practices. And so really using all that I know to build something different and new, and
I
using the
love
power
what
of
you said.
communication.
I love what you said about creativity, community, and collaboration. And those as sort of like, is it fair to say those are sort of your North Star as you think about the kind of company that you want to build?
Yes, that's exactly right.
I have one place I would love to sort of connect the dots a little bit more is those as values, as you outlined, are really rare in both the agency world and also in the overall economic system that we run as business values. And it feels like there's probably a pretty close connection between that reality and the reality that women of color are so underrepresented as leaders in the business world today. So you
Mhm.
talked a little bit about your own path to CEO. What is it about your experience, your lived experience, that makes you want to build a company in this new, different kind of model?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it's interesting, right? To start, I hate actually calling myself CEO because, we're trying to paradigm shift and we're using words that describe what used to be. But I also know on paper it's, you know, legally what's required. Um, but
It's literally a thing.
it's literally a thing, yeah. Um, but I would say, women of color, Black women, brown women are leaving the corporate world at unprecedented rates
Yeah.
because the work environment is harmful. Predominant, ones that are predominantly white that uphold white supremacist structures and policies, and so, you know, it's like, why try to work within that system when we can try to build our own? And in the last 2.5 years, it's honestly been my community that's uplifted me and has helped make this business shine bright, between my clients, my contractors, my service providers. They're all word of mouth, people in my first to second degree network, friends of friends, old bosses. I mean, I was even introduced to your organization through your board member who I met at a
Mhm.
client event. And so it feels like a community movement, being resourceful, resilient, bartering, really, we're not coming from money. Well, at least I'm not coming from money. A lot of us aren't starting businesses with capital, and access to capital is actually a huge barrier. And so, leaning, it's like my first few clients were my friends, and now my
Yeah.
friends in high places are hiring me. So, it's pretty amazing. And in this process, also just gaining financial literacy and understanding how this, um, game of Monopoly works and how to play in
Yeah.
it. Mhm.
Yeah. It can be so I've had a similar experience in building a values aligned organization where sort of explaining to some of our stakeholders why we do things like offer 6 months of paid leave, which in the nonprofit sector is really rare. And I can imagine you've had similar kinds of conversations with your own stakeholders about, why bartering, why, and it's like, because this is the way that we change the system. Like
Mhm.
this is what leadership looks like when you're really changing things.